Hey you guys, Joe with Joe's Shop. I thought today we would talk about stripped holes in hardwood, softwood, whatever you have. How do you fix it? 12 different ways to do that. I'm betting you all have one of these ways at your place right now where you can fix it. This is really stripped out bad. I mean, it goes all the way into the wood now. Our first way, which I think most people will probably have, blunt a toothpick. Once the toothpick is blunted, insert it into the hole with enough glue that you have bond once it cures. I will use a little activator to hopefully speed things up here. You might have baking soda at home that you can sprinkle on there after you've put a little CA on it. That will also do the job. The important part is that you don't under glue, or really over glue isn't good either because it takes so long to dry then. After that's done, all you have to do is wait for it to dry, cut it off, and it's ready to use. That's number one taken care of. Should we test it? Absolutely. I would say that's probably going to work. If you can bury the head like that, I'm guessing we're okay. And it looks like some really nice threads have been put into there. Let's move on to number two. For number two, let's say that your hole is too big for one simple toothpick to really fit in, and you need more than that. Instead of jamming a whole bunch of toothpicks in there, the way you could do it is running in a dowel. So drill to the next size dowel that you can get and run your dowel in there with a little glue on it, whether it's CA, last I would CA it, or whether you have the typical wood glues, put a little of that on there, lather it up, put it into the hole, let it dry, cut it off, and re-drill yourself a pilot hole, and that is a really, really good fix if you have those materials laying around. If you don't, let's look at number three. Okay, now for number three, let's say that the hole is only a little bit sloppy. Just a little. It's stripped out the hole, but no more. It's not wiggly at all. In which case you can use two-part epoxy. Mix up some epoxy, put it on a toothpick, and lather up the inside of the hole where the threads were. Once that cures, if you put the screw back in and you feel that it doesn't have enough tension on it, feel free to put on a second coat. The idea is to feel that you have screw tension, that it's getting hard to turn in. Then you know you have good physical thread bite. Okay, for number four, if you have screw threads that aren't really ruined, but they're just not good, they're just not that good, or you would like something better. Let's say they do work, but you want them stronger yet. You can take CA and just lightly put some super glue in around the threads and let it cure. Don't let it pool inside, just coat it so it soaks in. After it's good and dry, give it a test and try it. If you feel that there's a lot of bite and it's really pretty hard to put the screw in, you're good to go. If not, feel free to give it another light coating and let it cure, and you should be ready to roll. Okay, and for number five, I would say if you don't have a toothpick laying around, you can use real Q-tips, Q-tip swabs. They are solid rolled paper. They're hard, and with any glue will stick to it. You can use it just like a toothpick. Glue it just like you would the toothpick, like we talked earlier. Stay away from these plastic tubes that are that are Q-tips. They won't work in this application. You need the real deal that's paper, and they'll work with any glue. Number 6, is a cutter like this that you can get out of your wood magazines, and it's designed to emulate a pencil exactly. And you take a dowel, sharpen it in a pencil sharpener, a 5/16 dowel, because that's the size of a pencil. This goes with it, so this drills in your hole, a tapered hole, and this is the dowel that fits in it, so it's 100% mate for mate perfect. So what you're doing is you're taking your old stripped hole and you're running this ream in there, that's the pencil reamer, and then putting it in, and you have perfection instantly. So that's number 6. For number 7, it's literally taking sawdust and glue and mixing it up to like a dough consistency and filling in an irregular shaped hole is what that one's designed for. And last but not least, after you've got the hole filled, give it a light poke with a toothpick in the middle so you know exactly where your center still is or should be drilled once everything is dry. Once this is dried, and you're going to need overnight for sure when you make a consistency like that. Once it's dry, give it a shot inside with a screw, running your screw in and out one time. After you have the screw run out or brought back out, give it a light coating with some super glue if you have it inside the threads next, and that'll harden up any wood that's been exposed due to screwing in your screw threads. And there is number 7. Okay, for number 8, I would advise using a different screw diameter. Maybe this is the screw hole size that got stripped. Well, if it's possible, can you go to the next size screw? In width, not necessarily length, but width. And that's number 8. And for number 9, if your constraints allow it, perhaps you can go with a longer screw. Or maybe it's a bigger screw in diameter and a longer screw. Only you will know. But that's number 9. For number 10, it's a little iffy. It's something I'm not sure I would still try. It's something I did as a kid, but they used to have a product called Durham's Rock Hard Water Putty. And if you had a small screw and it wasn't under a lot of load, you could actually use that, mix up a little of that and put it in the hole. But chances are when you put your screw back in, if your pilot hole isn't just right, it kind of turns it to dust. It doesn't really work as good as it should. So I don't know that I'd really recommend that one for anything heavy duty, but it is something that does work. I have used it. Number 11 is perhaps you still don't have the right size dowel you want, or you don't have the right size, you don't have any toothpicks laying around. What you can also do is if you have, whether it's an axe, a knife, something sharp, is you can just grab a 2x4 or some other pine wood you have. Maybe you have some hardwood laying around. Hardwood's probably always best if you have a scrap. And maybe it is possible to actually chip off a piece right from the edge with a knife. I mean, a sharp knife can go a long way towards easily making yourself a splinter. I mean, all you would have to do is put it on edge and just start by doing some light carving, and you pretty quick can make some splinters. Be very careful, obviously, with a sharp tool, but that would take care of your problem immediately. Just something that simple. And for number 12, turns out Milwaukee's step drill, number 48899100, is a step bit that goes from eighth to half in real fine increments. And that is the exact angle that emulates this bit. So all you have to do is drill one of these, sharpen a 5/16 dowel, add some of your favorite juice. You've got number 12. You guys let me know what you think down in the comments. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.